A lot of people in Washington, D.C. seem to know a lot about Red Grant. And the question is, who's he? Well, I guess that is why he's on my podcast, to tell you who he is as a person, as a father, as a husband, and as a potential mayor.
I was born and raised in this great city.
This city made him who he is. An entertainer, yet humble. High in reciprocity, in commitment, faithful, and intelligent. I present to you Rodney Red Grant.
I'm Rodney Red Grant, independent candidate for mayor of Washington, D.C. This city made me the entertainer, executive, humanitarian, philanthropist, and leader that I am today. It's no secret our communities are struggling to cope with the absence of responsible leadership, leaving our schools and neighborhoods vulnerable to a lifetime of setbacks. Muriel Bowser is focused on developing buildings in our city, but has forgotten to develop our youth in a real comprehensive plan to reduce crime. As mayor, I will empower our youth to succeed, incorporate our seniors back into society, give our displaced and returning citizens the love, care, and respect that they deserve, and ensure that our city is safe and affordable to live in again. With your vote, together, we will save our city from the grips of Muriel Bowser. Remember, keep your political party, but keep your thoughts independent.
It is a great pleasure to have one of Washington, D.C.'s finest mayor aspirants today. Today I have with me Mr. Rodney Red Grant. He is running for the mayor of office in the Washington, D.C. And with his potential as a leader, I invited him to have a brief conversation with him so that we can talk about his goals and his aspiration to become a leader is and are, and why those who are going for him and those who don't even know about him can look at him and see the leader in him. He's been managing a company where he produces content for one of the big companies in the media, which is, with my understanding, he has produced content for HBO and some other companies. I have made a lot of friends over the years. Friends in Nigeria, friends in the United States, friends in London, friends in Ghana, Togo, Benin, Australia. I've made so many friends, and most of my friends are politicians, and some of them have political aspiration. And there's something that is intrinsically embedded in them: the desire to lead, the desire to serve. And it is axiomatic that they have to show their potential to lead. And that raises the question, why do they want to lead? Mr. Red Grant, you're welcome to my podcast.
Thanks for having me, Alex. I really appreciate you. It's definitely a great time in life. It's a great time in this world, and it's a great time in Washington, D.C.
to make history. I think God truly has put us all on this planet to move the energy toward where He wants it to be. And we're not there yet, but I think we're going to get close. I'm an independent candidate running for mayor of Washington, D.C.
Okay.
I was a Democrat my whole life, and I changed my party to become independent. So that's why I'm the independent candidate running for mayor of Washington, D.C. against the Democratic candidate, Muriel Bowser. So, yeah, I'm an independent candidate.
Wow. Fantastic. So before we go ahead with this podcast, I did a little research about your influence on. I did a little bit, with physical contact with people in Washington D.C. area as I operate a business around the Washington D.C. area, and I also did a little research online to see you and your competitors, to see the probability. It's not as dramatically specific, but out of probability, I was able to pull out some information that we can start with to see if we can start bringing up or drawing a conclusion from what we have. I did a social media survey of you and your contestants, and I see that amongst all the people that you're technically running against, you have the highest followers on Instagram, but Muriel Bowser has more followers than you on Twitter. And with my understanding, Instagram is a lifestyle thing. Twitter is a perspective thing. Most people on Twitter seem to be more opinionated. And most people on Instagram, choose to do lifestyle thing. It doesn't make much of a conclusion, but that is one thing. Other than that, I see that the rest of your contestants here, they have like 134 followers, 127, which to me says something that maybe they're not pushing too hard, which I don't know. And with that, I want to ask you a question. Personally, what do you think are your odds in this stuff? What do you think, if you're going to place yourself percentally, where do you think you're going to place yourself from 100, from 1 to 100? Where are you going to place yourself when it comes to the probability of you becoming the next mayor of Washington, D.C.?
I'm going to place myself on 100. I think the city of Washington, D.C. is super ready for change. I think the city of Washington, D.C. is tired of their leaders giving them false promises. Me being a humanitarian, not coming from a political background, I bring something special to the table that no other candidate can bring. And I just know right now, my city of Washington, D.C. has had it with its current administration. It's had it with people promising them that they're going to be a leader of all 8 wards and actually take care of all 8 wards. And it's super time for us to grab our city back and do the right thing. I wouldn't be running for mayor if it wasn't so many problems going on in our city. My background with working with the youth is something that has been super important for me. Don't shoot guns, shoot cameras, and Beyond Your Block has changed the perspective of our city. And we need more involvement and more programming when it comes to our youth. And if we don't get this programming and this involvement, then our youth will not have the same chances that they deserve in life. When it comes to what's going on in policy, I'm finding out that people fluff around the ideas of what's really happening. You know, you ask them questions, they don't answer directly. They can't give you a way that they plan to solve it. They can only give you a way of how it's a problem, but not a way to solve the problem. And we got to really delve into how to solve our problems. You know, if you look at my platform, it starts with love, care, and respect. You know, and that's something that we have to have as a community, no matter where we're at in life. You know, I have to respect you, Alex. I have to give love to you, Alex. And I got to care about you and your family. And we got to get back to these moral foundations that we have lost somewhere along the way. And I think it takes leaders to put us back or help us to get back to where we want to be. And, you know, of course, it's going to take equity. It's going to take diversity. And it's going to take a lot of people coming together at the right mind frame to get the situation solved. But we can't have our leaders just telling us anything now. It's ridiculous. When people get this power, they change. So we gotta hold our elected officials to a higher standard and force their hand to really complete the missions that they say that they want to complete. They're 100% when it comes to what's going on. I think our grassroots movement has been something that's been talked about heavily in this race, and we're going to continue to have a grassroots movement that is stronger than all the candidates.
Well said.
Thank you.
The next question I would like to ask you is, and before I ask you this question, there's a philosopher that I respect a lot, Carl Jung, and he said that for a tree to get to heaven, sometimes the root has to get down to hell. It is interesting that your advantages so as numeric, self-evident. I can see your victory from here. But the same token, I must ask you this question. And I'm drawing this question from the Second World War, the Mid-Atlantic. Japan was fighting against the United States of America. And they were sharing information about how to invade the Mid-Atlantic. But the problem they had with the operation was that the United States had information. The United States was able to decode their encrypted message. And because of that, they couldn't win the battle. In fact, they suffered the consequence because the United States attacked them back. You're running for mayor, and you have some contestant that they know that you have a pretty good chance. And there's this human proclivity for people to try to do all sort of malicious things, which I saw in one of your content that your phone has been tapped in the past. What do you think is your loophole? What do you think your enemies can use against you? Pardon me for using the word enemies, your competitors. What do you think they can use against you? And what should you be careful about, and how should you tackle that thing?
Well, I think they should be more worried about what I can use against them. You know, I also do research. I also study the art of war. I also am super intelligent when it comes to my opponents. So whatever they find that they can think they can use against me, I employ them to try. But believe me, it will be an all-out war if they actually try to dirty my name, which has been so clean in this community and the world, in America. And you know, I'm a family guy. You know, I believe in family. family first. My career is noted. You can Google everything that I've talked about online. You know, they might can say, you know, Red cursed on TV, you know, Red, had a comedy set. But, you know, these things you can Google. I'm not ashamed of it. I don't run from it. I smile at it. I've made millions of people laugh in life. Millions. I can't even count how many millions of people I've made laugh. That's how many millions. It might be in the hundreds of millions. So, you know, they can dig all they want, but at the end of the day, it's really about that DC is the worst run city in America. And that's documented. That's nothing that I'm coming up with. That's nothing that I'm saying to you, Alex, just to make myself look better. This is documented that DC is the worst run city in America. So let's deal with that. DC is 25% less safe than it was 10 years ago. DC has the highest rate of homelessness per capita in America, more than Los Angeles and Las Vegas. DC's education system is failing our students right now as we speak. DC is unaffordable to live in, and it's using an MFI that's incorrect right now as we speak. So whatever they try to dig up, the facts is DC is the worst run city in America. I'm a person who understands how to run corporation, DC being the biggest corporation in America. We need someone who understands how to run, allocate, and build morale right here in Washington, D.C. And if we don't, we're going to have another 4 years of a crime pattern that is dangerous to all citizens and residents of this city. So let them dig, Alex. But at the end of the day, they'll be digging their own grave.
That sounds like something in Def Jam comedy.
Hey, write it up.
I was listening to W Top News on one of your interviews, and you made a claim that you've been running a business for a while, and that with such potential, you intend to run DC like a business to make it successful. The question would be, which is not a conundrum though, how technical was your business? How technical was it that you were able to compare your business to Washington, D.C. and to bravely say that if you can run your business with how technical it is, that you can run Washington, D.C. How technical? What is that technical thing that is so complicated about your business that has helped you to develop the grit that can help you run a Washington, D.C. that is already going through some chaotic situation?
Well, first we gotta, it starts at the top. Everything starts at the top, like a crown chakra, and it trickles down to all of the resources that are in the city, to all of the agencies that are in the city. And every agency has a person at the head, and it has employees that work within that head. You have to have the heads of these agencies knowing what they're doing first, knowing how to treat their employees, and knowing how to get people to work so the system will work right. You know, if you start asking questions about what's some of the worst run agencies in the city, people are going to yell out what they are. Why we can't change the energy? Why can't people go down DCRA and be able to complete a project quickly? Why does it take so much for someone to go get a CBE license to run a small business. Why is our education system running the way it is? Why can't we get a handle on our crime? These are agencies that are failing right now. So when it comes to how I run my business and how been running my business, people who work with me understand that it's not an egotistical individual that's running the business. It's an individual that understands that everyone has an opinion, and everyone is opinion is valued. And once you be around me for a second, Alex, and you should come hang with me, you'll see that I hired some of the smartest people to be around me. Even in my campaign, I have the smartest individuals that understands politics, policy. And if you don't put smart people around you, you seem to fail. And if you think you're the smartest person in the room, you're usually the dumbest. So, it's about having people in leadership positions that are and understand how to run corporations right now, or how to run people and manage people, not even run them, manage people, because people run themselves. This is about managing the situation. And, the mayor's job is to manage the agencies that are put in front of her. And right now, I'm thinking that the agencies are not being run properly. So when you come to how Rodney Red Grant runs his corporations, they all been successful, from our Red Creative to the Movios to the Art Grant Incs., for working for Viacom, for producing over 25 shows for the network, for employing thousands of people, from working with millions of dollars in budgets. And, this is just what I do. And I just know DC deserves somebody who understands how to run a business, and also understands how to be one with people, be a people person, because that's super important. Marion Barry was a people person. He had some of his issues, but when it comes to running the city and working with people and giving people opportunity to be successful, that's what we're here for. We're supposed to be put in these positions to give people an opportunity to be successful. And that's what I'm here for, to give people opportunities to be successful. And, they can say whatever they want, but that's what I'm going to do. Give people an opportunity to be successful.
Yeah. As a business owner, I want to ask you this. Someone said that the Logos is truly the power to transfer or transform chaos into habitable order, and to be able to push between the bar beyond chaos to order, always finding the balance. And why I say this is because, well, you run a business and you manage people. Has there ever been a time when you encountered a situation that you had to employ more discernment or more discretion on handling them? And have you ever encountered a situation that you had to be a mayor in your business? You had to do what you intend to do for Washington, D.C. in your business. Have anyone among your crew or amongst your employees done something that you find not worthy enough and you had to do something about it? And how did you handle such situation?
I mean, you handle every situation different. I think on a daily basis, I'm faced with different decisions that I have to make, and you got to deal with each individual differently. It's never the same, but ultimately, you're trying to work toward getting everybody to move toward the same place, and you're not going to be able to, stop everybody from being a human being, because humans are going to be humans. But what you can do is have a stern ability to say, this is where we're trying to go. And I need you guys to help me get to this place. Then if you have people that are in the business that want to go a different way, you know, that's just business. That happens in business. You got to continue to move on. But the ultimate goal is to make our city great. So you gotta deal with each individually different, you know. And every day we as human beings wake up in the morning. And I don't know if you're married. I don't know if you're in a relationship. I don't know if you got kids. But every day you're faced with the decisions to help your family grow, to help life around you grow. And in business, it's the same thing. And like I said, you have to have discernment on a daily basis. You know, you have to give people opportunities also. But if it's to a point where the opportunities are, you know, you're giving them an opportunity and they're trying to tear down the goal, then you have to allow them to move on, because everybody's not going to get there with you, but you want them to. That's my whole spirit. I want people to get there with me. I want people to, you know, see the goals getting met. But, you know, every day on a daily basis, you're going to have to deal with that. And as mayor, I'm going to deal with it a lot. But I think I've been tested. You know, I don't think anybody has been in front of crowds like I have. I don't think people have had to deal with not only crowds, but also business decisions at the same time. And as a man, I feel like this is where I'm at, and I've done a great job at everything I've done. And of course, you're gonna have bumps in the road, but you know, I get through all of that. But you know, I care about people. I'm a people person, Alex. I care about people first and foremost. That's why I'm a humanitarian, because I care about people first, and I want to see people do well. I want to see my community do well. I want to see our young people do well. I want to see our seniors do well. You know, this is what I want in life. And I want to be an open ear to what they need. And sometimes, you know, people are not an open ear to what people need. And that's where the real problem happens. You know, you just about, it's your way or the highway. It's not that way. You can't have it your way or the highway. You have to, we live in a community where people are going through things. And I told somebody this the other day, that policy is basically the problem and the solution, right? Sometimes people say they're creating policy, but they're only creating policy around the problem. They don't create it around the solution of how to get it done, how to make a difference. And that's a lot of times, that's what politicians try to, I would say, BS us and try to what I call fluff us, you know, give us, you know, minute answers that not even are answers. They're just a statement that they practice over and 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 over again to get themselves out of the situation of answering the real question. So when it comes to people, that's what I care about, Alex. I want to see our city be the best city in America. I want us to be a city that other cities can model after. And that's who I am as a person. That's who I am as a leader. And I'm going to continue to be that.
Now, you said that you are humanitarian.
Yeah.
But you're running for office.
Mm-hmm.
So the question would be, what's the difference between the humanitarian and the politician? Who's a politician, and how do you conceptualize being a humanitarian yet going for office?
Well, I mean, it's many humanitarians that run for office. Bono was a humanitarian. Uh, I mean, shucks, that's when you see a problem. That's what humanitarians, man. We see problems and we put our heart into it, and we sometimes cross the line of politics. But I feel like, my whole career, over 30 years, I've been creating policies, not even knowing, right? Even in the material that I speak on. And people want you to feel bad about, running for office if you're a humanitarian. But I think that's sad that they think like that. We should be able to come into your field and your house and bring a sense of energy and a sense of know-how. And people who have been politicians all their life, they just been doing the same riffraff. So it's time for change. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm the humanitarian that's running for office, and nobody can stop that. And nobody can put in front of me that, Red, well, you didn't run for anything. You never was an ANC. That's the first thing they always say. You never was an ANC. You never was a council member. What do you know about politics? I know about people. I go out here every day and I talk to these people out here on the street. I go in these communities and I talk to the people every day. I do what they don't do, Alex. They don't go and talk to their own community. They take office and don't talk to the community that they take office in. So I'm going to put and make them step up, because I'm going to be a politician that has a humanitarian flavor that's going to continue to speak to my community. And that's what it is. And I'm going to smile about it. And I'm going to continue to lift my people up. And I'm going to continue to lift our communities up and break down the separatism that is going on within our society. And if they think that's wrong, I will continue to smile at them.
To take us a little bit back to the story during the Second World War about the invading of the Midway Atlantic, when the Japanese developed this code, they named the code. They had to name it. They named their code, and that's how they communicate. And they were the only one who understood that language. And that it's a reminder that things start existing when you name them. I'm still trying to connect the dots. It is true we can be two things in life. And I'm a father. I'm a human being. I'm also a podcaster. And even if I like to sing music, but I do podcasts, I'm still a podcaster. I can be a musician and do podcasts and deny the fact that I'm a podcaster. I still do podcasts, so I'm a podcaster. I understand that you are a humanitarian. But if you get access into office and you have to decide, which is the definition of politics, you have to embody the responsibility of making decisions with your bodies and your advisors and those who are responsible for working with you. You have to deal politically with them, which has to also influence how you respond to people and how you manage the money that is allocated for project. I see that to be politics.
I'm going to say this to you. Me and you talking right now is political, right? This whole conversation is a political conversation. From the time you made the phone call to me to the time we even get on this podcast, it has been political. I think life is political every day. When you wake up in the morning and deal with your kids, it's political. So being a politician and being political is two different things to me. Handling things in a political way, you don't have to say you're a politician. you can be a humanitarian and handle situations politically. You know, getting yourself out of a situation is a political situation. You know, so don't just think politicians are the only ones who know how to be political. Then if you think that, then you wouldn't have a podcast right now, because it takes political situations and political thoughts to be able to be in your situation. So I disagree with you when you say that, but we can agree to disagree. But I disagree with it. I feel like my life, to have a 30-year career, I had to have a form of being political. Just even being on TV, the politics behind that is incredible. And I think my whole career has been political when it comes to how to deal with people. And, you know, some people know how to do it better than others. Some people are the best at it in the world. But just know that every day you wake up, you're going to be dealing with a political situation somehow in that day. So I can't allow you to say, you know, because I'm a, you know, humanitarian, that I don't understand a political way of thinking and how to handle situations, because you'll be putting me in a box.
What do they have in them that is undeniable, that is off the chart? What do they have in them that makes them stand out? Well, I guess this is part of the reason why I started political conversations on my podcast. Because I want to know what makes people decide to lead. Because a leader is a servant. And a servant is someone who carries out the will of his or her master. Sometimes we misunderstand the reason for leadership, but I think if we can keep having conversations about leadership, we can come to a better conclusion that is not going to leave us in a conundrum, but help us understand that we are in a better position to articulate things like this.
I'm saying if someone does something, that is what the person is. And I understand the fact that you are a humanitarian, but there's also a possibility that if you do political things, running campaigns, and letting the people know your intentions to help them become better people, that's what a politician basically is supposed to do.
Well, all right, so I'm a politician and a humanitarian. So, you know, I mean, I accept that title. You know, my folks always tell me, you know, Reg, you're a politician now. Okay, yeah, I'm a politician now. Okay, Alex, yeah, you're the first one that got me to say that I'm a politician also in a humanitarian's body. And I'm going to continue to be who Rodney Red Grant is and deal with things politically the way I deal with them, and run this city of Washington, D.C. incredibly. And I'm going to deal with these politicians who are going to come at me, but they're going to be meeting a different type of individual than they used to. So, you know.
I see the
but you're still a podcaster.
Yeah, I'm a podcaster. Sometimes I try to deny it, but whenever I get in front of the camera, I tell myself, yeah.
But you're also a father. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I tell people all the time, your job changes every minute of the day, but it's still your job.
Right.
You do different things. I take my kid to practice. I feel like I'm a coach also. You know, but I know I can coach. I don't coach, but I can coach if I need to. But we all have our destiny here on earth. I'm a super spiritual individual. When you meet me, you understand that's where my smile comes from, my spirituality. I believe that God moves us in these situations and puts us in these places. Sometimes you can ask why after why after why after why, and you would never be able to answer it. Because before I became a comedian, you couldn't tell me I wasn't going to be an NFL football player. You know, I trained hard for many years. I put myself in that position to be a NFL football player, but that's not where he had me going. You know, so and everything in my career has been like that. Even with the start of the comedy, to the production, the producing, to the executive producing, to writing, none of it was scripted, not from me. It was scripted from him. And I'm going to continue to move the way he has me moving. And they have to deal with it because they got to deal with my God.
Mm. When you said purpose over popularity, how did you come up with such metaphor?
Purpose over popularity. I feel like I've been popular for a long time, right? Since I was 19 years old. And I was popular before that, even in high school. And I was popular in elementary. But as far as, you know, TV popularity is a whole different fame, a different popularity. You can get caught up in it. And when I said to myself I was going to run for mayor, I wanted people to understand what my purpose was for running for mayor. And even my purpose for my programs, you know, it's all a purpose. It's all a purpose here. And sometimes people wake up for the fame, and some people wake up for the purpose. I wake up every day for the purpose. I put my feet on the floor and on the ground for the purpose. And it's way more important than my popularity. So if it's getting to my purpose, is what I'm going to do every day of my life, way more than trying to get popular. Fame comes to you because of your actions, and your purpose is put in front of you for you to complete it. So I just want to continue to complete my purpose here on earth, for my community and for my family.
When you said don't shoot guns, shoot cameras, I want to ask this question. And why I'm asking this question is because I have a business in the Washington, D.C. area. A few days ago, I was robbed.
Sorry about that, too. Sorry to hear that.
It's fine. And the guy who came into the store came with a gun. And that was the last time I saw him. There may be a probability or a possibility that this guy has had a job or had a means of making money. But having such firearm within gave him something else to think about. And that is why this question is important to me. I also realize that there are so many other individuals who have firearms and they have jobs. When you propose don't shoot guns, shoot cameras, it may seem that you're trying to help people start making money so they can stop working, or so they can attach themselves to a higher purpose so they can stop shooting. The question is, are people getting guns because they don't have a job or because they don't have anything else to do? Or are they getting the guns to protect themselves, which sometimes they use it for the wrong purpose?
Well, my program, Don't Shoot Guns, Shoot Cameras, we're trying to keep guns out of our young people's hands. You know, our program is from 12 to 17. A lot of the carjacking, a lot of the murders that go on in our city are coming from young people. And a lot of our young people don't feel like people care about them. And, you know, and it's also a system also of poverty and broken families and a lot of other things that go into why our young people want to get guns and want to shoot one another. It's mental health issues going on also, some mental health issues. And our job is to give them other opportunities that they wouldn't normally have, Alex. I think that's super important that we give them the opportunities that they normally would not have. And, you know, my background is filmmaking. I understand filmmaking. And that was my way of saying, I'm going to give them something that I learned, right? Because I know how much it helped me change as an individual. So when I put that camera in their hand, they change. They don't want to shoot anyone. And at least it gives them that opportunity for those brief moments to say that I can be something more than, you know, my environment sometimes says I should be. So that's when I created Don't Shoot Guns, Shoot Cameras, you know, that came from a real place of trying to help our young people have other opportunities and seek somebody who believes in them, give them mentorships. You know, there's a lot of lack of mentorships in our community right now. And, you know, we got a school to prison pipeline that is going on right in front of us that no one's talking about. You know, our young people are going from school right to jail. No opportunity to grow up or nothing. And if you don't see that as being sad, then you don't have no heart. So I'm going to continue to push programs like that and ask people who have programs that can help our young people grow to continue to bring those programs to our city. Let's come together as a community and let's hug up our young people again. So that's why I created that. You know, some people, you know, it's in our Constitution the right to bear arms, right? But, you know, it's also illegal to kill one another. So, and it's also a crime, and I know people have to protect themselves. I just worry about our babies. I'm worried about our babies right now that have firearms in their hand, that are robbing people, that are carjacking people, that are killing one another. And it's a reason for this, you know. And we gotta push so our kids want different things and won't be afraid out here and know that people love them and know that people care about them. So that's why I created Don't Shoot Guns, Shoot Cameras.
So since you have a program for the young ones, I also understand, we both understand, that there are still older people in the Washington D.C. areas.
Yep.
Do you have any program for these older people?
Yeah, we starting trade programs also. You know, we want to make sure we can get everybody who wants a job, right? I went to a job fair yesterday, and it was sickening that they didn't promote it properly. It was thrown by the government, it was put together by the DC government, but they didn't promote it for people to show up. So you have all these vendors ready to give jobs and nobody to employ. We got to have better communication. You know, we got to be able to get these opportunities out to people who really want jobs and want to work and want to take care of their families out here in our city. And like I said, we got to make our city affordable to live in again. And we can't have developers coming in saying that they're going to develop projects. I mean, develop buildings and that's supposed to be affordable and not have affordable living for people who are from Washington, D.C. and want to still stay in their city. This shouldn't be the city where you just kick all of the residents out and just bring new residents. It should be a city that all are welcome, but we do take care of our home. We take care of our city. And we have to think like that. Because you don't go to New Orleans and say you don't want to see Mardi Gras no more. So I want them to treat our city just like you treat any other city.
The predicament of so many homeless people to me still seem to be a conundrum, because there was a time I was homeless. All I had to do, I went online, I filled the form, and the government provided me a place to stay for a while. Pretty decent place. It was a really nice hotel. I was able to stay there and figure my way out. But still yet, there are homeless people around. There are women have to draw the final analysis that it's not like so many people can afford or can get a place to sleep or lay their head. There must be something else that is keeping them outside. What is your solution, or what is your suggestion on how to curb the homelessness that is multiplying in the Washington, D.C. area?
Well, I mean, I go out and talk to my homeless brothers and sisters. I feed the homeless, and I have real conversations to answer those questions. Some want to stay out on the street. Some don't want to go into shelters. Some want jobs. Some want proper housing. And we gotta deal with the individuals that also are having mental health issues. You were lucky and blessed to be able to have your scruples there, get an opportunity, and take advantage of it. Everybody's not going to have the same opportunities, but what I can say that we should afford everybody the same opportunities. You know, we have over 50,000 people on a wait list to get housing right now. And when you call down there, you can't get an answer. But yet we're building more, we have more skyscrapers in the air than any other city in America. So why are we not concentrating on making it affordable for everybody? Why we're not creating affordable living for everyone? If we can hire developers or pay developers or have developers come into our city and build units that cost $5,500, why we can't have people come in to create affordable living for the people that are here? So that's how I want to come in with a different mindset to be able to have checks and balances on these developers that are coming to our city, and really force them to live up to what they said they were going to do. Have units that are affordable for people who don't make the same amount of money on a daily basis. And we got to give our homeless people opportunities, you know, job opportunity, job training opportunity, you know, housing opportunity, because, you know, DC is hurting right now. And it's a reason why we became the #1 per capita homeless population in America. Sometimes you got to reverse things, Alex, to see where the problem started and how to fix the problem and how to get back to where we were. So that's what I plan to do to get back to where we were, you know, to really dive into what created the problem. And, you know, once you're in there, you'll see what has created the problem and where we were at a certain time. And you got to work with the proper experts to help us get back to where we're going to get to.
Okay. So I just want us to clear up something. Do you think some people are benefiting from the fact that they're homeless?
Are they benefit from the fact that they're homeless? In what way?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes people think they're benefiting from being homeless, but you know, like I said, some people don't want to move into a house. Some people really want to be on the street. But I don't think people who are fighting every day with their kids out there and their families out there trying to find a place, I don't think that's fair to say that they're benefiting. No, they're not benefiting from being homeless. They're actually not benefiting at all being homeless. Who wants to be homeless, especially in the summer or in the winter at DC? This is not a cool place to be homeless in the wintertime. So no, I don't think they're benefiting from it.
Okay.
But
So, you want to say something else?
no, just my answer is no. I don't think that people who really want to find a home are benefiting from being homeless. Nah, I don't think so.
Okay. So I guess we get to see comments from viewers and we get to hear more from them and what they think about the questions and the answers we provided. But, probably 8 years from now, someone else is going to watch this video. Maybe 5 years, 10 years from now, someone else is probably going to try to run for the office of mayor. What would be your advice to anyone in the future who is trying to run for the same office? What will be your advice to such person?
My advice to them is to never let people box you in. Complete your goals. Take it super serious. Running for office is not easy. It's a lot of hard work. You have to build your team properly. And you have to have the knowledge of how to campaign. And you got to knock doors. You got to get out with the people. You have to listen. You have to be a go-getter. And you can't allow people to stop what you set out to do. So anybody running for office, I always tell them, take it serious. Make sure your paperwork is in properly. Make sure you have a great team around you. Make sure that you understand what your policies are and your platform is. Understand your opponent and go for what you know.
Well, here's my last question. Really interesting. I was digging through your, content online, and guess who I bumped into? Mr. Calvin Cardoza Brothers, aka Snoop Dogg, your good friend.
Mm-hmm.
How? Just curious, how did you meet Snoop Dogg?
I've been knowing Snoop Dogg since I was 21 years old. I met him for the first time when I was working at BET, and many other times after that. And we became friends, in passing, just like, hey, what's up, dog? Hey, what's up, Red? But when I moved to Los Angeles, we started doing some work together. I started writing for one of his shows called Doggy After Dark. I started making music with him. We started having gaming companies together. We both love Madden. We both love the whole gaming community. And we built a strong relationship through family. He loves my family. I love his family. And, Snoop's a genuine individual. He's a really, really good person. For him to be as famous as he is, you never would know that just being around him, because he's a humble individual. He cares about the youth of his city. He cares about the youth of this country. They call him Coach Snoop. They call him Uncle Snoop. They call him Doggy Dog. They call him Calvin, Mr. Brodus. I mean, he's a perfect example of them saying that you're a rapper, but now you're a businessman. Why you didn't stay in your lane, Snoop? Because God had a big mission for him. And he's super intelligent. He understands how to put the right people around him to make things grow. And that's why he grosses so much. That's why his net worth is so much. And that's why he stays relevant, because he understands how to put smart individuals around him. And he teaches me that. We talk all the time. He tells me all the time how, continue to stay humble. Continue to put the smart people around you, Red. And don't listen to the naysayers. Never listen to them. Never listen to they said. Whoever they are, never listen to them. And just stay on your mission. So I'll probably talk to him in a little bit soon, because we talk on a nightly basis. And it's just, I'm just glad God gave me friends like him.
Is he supporting your campaign?
Yes, he is supporting the campaign.
Right.
He wants me to complete the mission.
Mm-hmm. Someone I listen to a lot, my mentor Les Brown, said that call for your team, but make sure these are people who can help propel you to grow. And I'm glad your relationship with Snoop Dogg is helping you out, and it's contributing in your campaign and your growth in your ambition.
Yeah. And my father always said, never burn bridges, watch the bridges that you burn. Don't burn bridges. So we got to continue to watch that, watch our emotions. And we'll be all right.
Yeah. I normally end my podcast with poems. And for me, mine is Out of the Night That Covers Me Black as a Peat from Poe to Poe. I thank whatever gods may be for my
unconquerable soul. In the
fact,
field clutches of circumstances, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody, yet unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears loom, but the horror of the shade. Yet the minutes of the years find and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate and charged with punishment to scroll. I'm the master of my fate. I'm the captain of my soul.
Perfect, man. Perfect. What a wonderful way to end this conversation.
Yes, it is.
Thank you for coming on my podcast and sharing this with me.
Thank you for having me, Alex, man. I appreciate it.